I am Ja Morant. Like, you guys have got a chance to see me grow up for public consumption since 1991. And I've been involved in drug raids. I've survived assassination attempts. I've been that undisciplined young person that was trying to figure out how to be famous, how to be successful, and how to change the dynamics of my family. The one thing that young people have.
Who do you look at around the league as you're studying and say, we're going to have to run through them?
Celtics.
No one in the West?
Nah, I'm fine in the West.
I won't lie, bro, it legitimately is going to hurt me making this video because Ja Morant is one of my favorite players in the league. Outside of Giannis, there isn't a player that I love more than Ja Morant. I've been following Ja since his days at Murray State, and what really made me a fan of Ja Morant was that triple-double he had in March Madness. Initially, I thought people were going to be unfair to Ja because of how similar the energy was towards Allen Iverson back in the 2000s. The NBA has never really been receptive to guys who come from the streets and somewhat portray that lifestyle. Especially back in the 2000s, the league was way more blatant with their dislike of AI's gangster / hip-hop persona, which would lead to David Stern implementing a dress code for the players to follow in result of that. Everybody now looking back knows that there was underlying racism with that rule implemented, but not that many people blatantly called it out. Or the only person that I remember that blatantly just called it what it is was Steven Jackson, but other than him, I don't remember that many people just calling it what it straight was. And the difference between AI and Ja is that AI was just being himself. He wasn't trying to put on a front for nobody. AI didn't have to feel like he had to prove a point to people that he was this tough guy, he was gangster or some shit. The dude just wanted to go in, play basketball, have fun with his job, and enjoy himself. Ja, on the other hand, is making millions of dollars and still wants to portray this tough guy image, despite knowing that he has so much to lose. AI was still going to strip clubs, buying chains, dressing like a hip-hop kind of dude, but he was never dumb enough to show a weapon on his Instagram page or blatantly threaten people with a weapon. And it's funny too because Ja's trying to move like a rapper, but he doesn't realize that the stereotypical mainstream rapper isn't roaming around with a weapon looking for trouble. Or let me preface it, a rapper who has a brain isn't gonna do some shit like that. And Morant has more than 3 strikes at this point. There was the incident with the teenager where Ja beat up a kid after a pickup basketball session. There was the whole red beam situation with the Pacers. There was another story about a 17-year-old where Ja allegedly beat them up again. I'm not sure if it was the same person. I don't really know if they specified it. And there's a video of him showing a weapon on Instagram Live. And now there's a possibility that Ja could get suspended for having a weapon on the team plane, which grossly violates the NBA's policy. And the thing is that the original suspension was only 2 games of him showing the weapon on Instagram Live. Ja could possibly get suspended multiple games, like 10, 20, 30 games for having a weapon on a team plane. And this rule dates back to the Gilbert Arenas situation, where Gilbert Arenas was literally threatening a man with a weapon and put everybody in the vicinity at risk. Let's say somebody on that plane pisses Ja off for no reason, right? If Ja is not in his right mind, he could threaten somebody with that weapon and possibly get in even more trouble. And at this point, Ja has been warned way too many times, and it shouldn't take this many people speaking out about him or a suspension for him to move differently. I feel like ever since he got to the league, he should have had somebody with him who was in his ear, who had his best interest in heart. Because this not only does hurt Ja, but it also hurts his team as well. If he's over here risking getting suspended so many games with this type of behavior, not only is it going to affect the team chemistry, but it's also going to cause him to miss important games that his team may need him in, especially to maintain seeding in the Western Conference or to just play playoff games. At least be smart. That's all I'm asking. Don't be out here flexing your weapon on Instagram trying to prove some point. Just be smart, because a weapon in the wrong hands, everyone knows what's going to happen if a weapon is in the wrong person's hands. Or you have some other alternatives, like why not hire some security people around you who are willing to protect you from dangerous situations when necessary. That's how most rappers nowadays move anyways, given that's the portrayal that Ja wants around him. And another thing I wanted to address was the whole Ja's not from the hood thing. And believe me, I'm one of those people that thinks that the whole trying to act hood thing is corny. But to the people that say Ja is from the suburbs or some shit, clearly haven't done their research on Ja Morant's background. Ja clearly grew up in a tough environment in South Carolina, which is the reason why, or at least part of the reason why, he's acting out the way he is. He probably grew up around a lot of people who had guns on them and who were doing a lot of illegal activities. Ja grew up in Sumter, South Carolina, Crestwood to be exact, and that area is one of the leading areas in crime rates in the United States. It's also one of the leading areas in gang activity as well. I feel like people saw that one photo of Ja and his family and assumed that he grew up in the suburbs, when that's just simply not the case. And again, I'm not saying that Ja had a tough life or he didn't have a tough life. I don't know the guy, but I'll say he did grow up with a lot of privileges. He grew up with the privilege of being really talented at basketball. Actually, I'm not even going to say it's a privilege. I think that's more of being in a really good sports environment, having people around him that really care about him. Ja also grew up with his father in his life, and if we're being honest, not that many black boys have their fathers in their lives to keep them straight. So he had that accountability person in his life to make sure that he wasn't out here doing anything stupid. And the funniest thing is also, there are countless players in the NBA right now that I know didn't grow up with a father in their life that would never do what Ja Morant did. And that's the thing that's really bothering me. It's the fact that this behavior has gone unchecked for so long, and it kind of shows that Ja Morant really doesn't have the best support system out there. At least if nobody's out here calling him out on his bad decisions. Like, he has so much to lose, bro. He has his deal with Nike, his deal with Powerade, many other future endorsements that are at risk now because of his foolish decisions, a $200 million contract with the Memphis Grizzlies that he signed last summer. Just way too much to lose for a young 23-year-old player. And I'm glad that Ja's taking accountability in his apology and he's willing to get help. If there's something wrong with his mental health, I hope he gets help for it. And I hope that he can smarten up in the future, because I legitimately see this guy being one of the future faces of the league. He is easily one of the most fun players to watch, one of the most athletic players I've ever seen play, and overall just somebody that I see with a very high ceiling in the NBA. Hopefully he can get it all together soon, but it's just not looking good right now. But yeah, man, if that's the end of this video, let me know what you think in the comment section below about Ja Morant and what he should do next. Do you think the media is being kind of unfair to him? Let me know all of that down below. Also, if you want to see me do a specific type of video on a specific topic, you can leave that in the comments below as well. I'm trying to give the people more of what they want, so let's see if we can make that happen. And if you want more videos like this, if you want to see more videos in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and a subscription would definitely be appreciated. But yeah, man, that's all for this video, and I'm out. Peace.